I'm Lynne Edwards. I'm a quilt maker and a patchworker for almost 50 years. And I teach, and that's what my passion is, teaching. I write books to help other people do their own work, and that's what I do. So this is one of the pieces that I've done over the years, which is a technique called set in stone. So it's looking like a floor. The pieces there. I'm interested in floors of stone bricks. I'm interested in the gap between them. That's what fascinates me. So the fabrics are here with that gap, that grouting between them, and then it's hand blanket stitched. It could be machine, but I like to do handwork. And this is an exhibition at the NEC of all my work, which I'm trying to rehouse. I'm cutting back. This is stuff which is going to hang around at home with no audience, and I want an audience, and I want somebody who loves it. So we have them on display, and then we have them being hopefully rehoused with people who really care and want to know about it. This is cathedral window, which is a technique that I am extremely interested in and do a lot of work in, or have done. Not so much now, but in the past it became my forte. Round the edge is the traditional cathedral window. In the centre is a variation called Secret Garden, which you can see each little piece has been joined to its neighbour. You can see the seam where it's joined. When you come round to the edge, the seam where these are joined is covered by an extra layer, so you can't see the horizontals and verticals. Here you can, here you can't. Silk and cotton, and it's called peacock windows, which is quite nice. Some years ago I designed a ruler to enable you to cut and piece very nicely a corner to corner curve, which is like that. So here's the square. The large piece goes right from there down to there, and here's the smaller piece, and that is an actual stitched curve cut with this ruler. And these designs are all celebrating that lovely curve. I gave myself the challenge of seeing how dismal and dull in colours I could make this basket. I'm famed for using soft colours, but it's the dramatic background that gives it this oomph. And on the white wall it is transformed in that it looks suddenly very dramatic, and I'm really pleased with how it's looking in this context. Just shows you, presentation is all. The quilting in here is all by hand. To have it, these days people prefer quilting by hand, where you can see the gap between the stitches is so much more effective, and in some cases I have used thread which has texture in it and done big decorative stitches. So the quilting becomes more of an obvious, almost embroidery feature. And I like this. I love to have stitch work and patchwork and quilting, which is just running stitch, used with each other wherever it's appropriate to give this lovely effect. This is called Winter Woods. And what I wanted was to take this simple, stark shape and use it very graphically. So it's really it may be traditional, but it still has quite a modern presentation of colour and shape. What I decided, normally I would do blanket stitch, hand or machine, around a raw edge to hold it in place. It's stuck down, first of all, with a fusible, like Bonder web, and cut away in the middle so that it isn't solid cut down. Stuck down, it's easy, only around the edges. But I decided with this that if I did a blanket stitch, even by hand or machine, you would lose that lovely definition of that edge. So what I've done is it's been stuck down, and then I have ignored the raw edge, and I have top stitched by machine, very small stitch, very close to the edge, so it's actually pinned down with stitchery, but the edge is still raw. It is stuck, so it's not going to fray, but if it does fray in time, it's going to give a nice effect. It's whatever is appropriate and suits the quilt, and there is nothing that is not right if it suits what you want to say. There are no rules in this, so this is not, oh, there's a raw edge, how dreadful. There's a raw edge, let's celebrate it. This is one of the classes that I used to teach on drafting, in other words, a technical drawing. So this is perspective, true perspective, not just the appearance, but true mathematically, from here into that great shape. And then within that is drawing what from the front will be a flat star and tipping it on that, again in the rules of true perspective. And having drafted it, in other words having drawn it, then it's been pieced as patchwork, and it's very effective whether you have it this way, which is the way it's been presented now, or whether you turn it through 90 degrees and have it the landscape. You get a very different effect. It's fascinating how that works, and it was a process that I used to teach to enable people to be able to design and draft things in true perspective. And many people are very frightened of all that drawing and sums, and I tried to make it more accessible for people because that's what I like to do as a teacher. Well, as a quilter, I generally use real cotton fabric, only because it sits nicely. It doesn't react to the iron and shrink. It makes it relatively durable. Although it's no longer really just a domestic craft, it's nice to be able to use these things and use them roughly if needs be. Nothing is any point if it's absolutely restricted to being on the wall, unless that's what you want. If you want it for a cushion or for a throw, or to be used just dragged around by small children or big adults, kids at university and everything, it's got to be durable. And you have a much better chance of that working out if the main part is just proper cotton. I don't wash the bits first like Americans have always done, because now cotton fabric is far better, I think, in quality, and so you just do it as it is. Dressmaking, you don't wash the fabric first, you just use it. And I don't wash mine first now. I do make sure the colour doesn't run, because that's quite an important issue. But if at the same time I want something which is purely decorative, on the wall perhaps, or something like that, then I'm very happy to use silk as well. All sorts, if it's to effect. And that's a personal choice. I don't throw loads of different things in, and I don't do a lot of embellishment. That's a personal choice. Other people have different choices, but my choice is, in the main, interesting cotton fabrics with extras thrown in for effect if it's appropriate. This piece has got, it is a sampler. It's a sampler of this design, which you can see here in a striped fabric without an extra fabric in here. It's a sort of cousin of cathedral window, but it's manipulation, and I love this, the way the stripes move. I love the way this can curve round. So I've taken it here. I've done it here where, with the addition of a piece of plain fabric in the centre, done a little bit of Japanese type stitchwork in the middle to make it interesting. And then just to give it some breathing space, I've taken the same effect, drawn in a line which has then been hand stitched. The stitch is a medium that I'm using to accompany. The stitch is not the hero of this. The stitch is one of the hard-working chorus of this piece, and I love it because it's got this, what it is a celebration of manipulation and making curves and straight edges, especially around the edge here. You get that lovely curve, which I love. And I do a lot of this stuff now. I'm very interested in picking that off, how that works. So this piece, combination of applique, stitch work, and just a celebration of an old Welsh quilting pattern. And I hope something that I've been showing you is of interest.